Hey everyone, it's Merja here. It's great to be back. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just a normal girl, um, just doing my thing in the world, trying to help myself and others integrate their lives into a life that feels more authentic and caring for you. So we're all individuals, and so should we be treated. Today, what I'd like to talk a little bit about is how our thoughts become our feelings and how our feelings become our thoughts. Now, this is a really important part of your integration journey. Just to understand this concept, that you can affect your feelings by your thoughts and you can affect your thoughts by your feelings. And there's often kind of, I would say, friction between thinkers and feelers around which way of shifting through the world is more valid. So if you're a highly emotional person, it's likely that you feel that emotions are, that you don't want to necessarily, think your emotions into being. Or if you're a highly thought-oriented person, you may not want to acknowledge your emotions and your feelings and the power that they might have in decision making. There are two ways of making decisions. We either think things through and make a decision via thinking, or we feel things through and make decisions via how we feel about ourselves or about other people or the world around us. So with thoughts and feelings, they don't have to actually argue. We can work with those two together. And the interesting thing about thoughts are that your subconscious, so you have a conscious mind, things that you're conscious of, you're listening to this, you're sitting on your chair, you have organized something to go and meet with somebody later on. Those are all conscious thoughts. So your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is kind of under the conscious mind, and the subconscious minds are those things that you can do without having to think about them. Things like you can walk and talk on the cell phone at the same time. So those are things that you're doing subconsciously, but you're still able to do those things. And subconscious is also something like, when you get a feeling, you get like a light bulb moment. Hey, I've never thought of it that way, but that feels true for me. Those things are in your subconscious. And then there's the unconscious mind, which is the vastest, the biggest part of your consciousness, which kind of keeps our work and our lives particularly interesting, because we will never know everything that's in the unconscious mind, and that's a good thing. We don't want to know everything that's going on in the unconscious mind, because that way, if we leave like a sense of wonder about ourselves, we then give ourselves an opportunity to live a meaningful and fulfilling life, because we continue to discover things about ourselves. So going back to the feelings and thinking, feelings and thoughts, your conscious thoughts, so conscious at the high level, so things that you're conscious of right now, can affect your subconscious so much. So your subconscious is very impressionable to the thoughts that you think. So let's just say that you're thinking a thought of nobody cares about me, I'm really lonely. Your conscious mind, because you're thinking consciously, I'm really lonely, nobody cares about me, starts sending messages into your subconscious to start looking for those times, like looking for evidence almost of that makes that sentence true. So if you're feeling, hey, I'm really lonely, I'm feeling really isolated, then you are telling your subconscious effectively to look for those times when that's actually true and then flag them for you. So we can affect our subconscious mind to look for the kind of evidence that we want to find in life, which is actually a good thing, because if you are feeling lonely, you can use things like, captain's orders. Some people call them affirmations. I don't personally call them affirmations, because affirmations have kind of like a bad name. But I want to say, you can order your subconscious to look for the things that are actually helpful for you in your life by thinking the thoughts, even if they're not true right now in this moment. So if you're feeling lonely, you can think your way out of the loneliness by saying to your subconscious mind, I'm open to seeing people caring about me. So you're not saying people love me, because you know that's not true. You're not feeling it. You're not ready for that kind of a leap. But what you can say is, hey, I'm open to seeing people caring about me. Now, a really good example of that particular one for me was, some of you know we have bushfires around our house, and it's a very serious situation. It still is ongoing, but we had to evacuate last week. And I was feeling, because of the PTSD the year before last, and because of all the losses that I've experienced this year, I've lost 4 significant people in my life this year. It's been a really tough year, and I've been feeling really lonely with that. And when we had to evacuate, we did a lot of preparation. We evacuated, we took the animals and left. We went to a back of somebody's house that I just happened to know about on the coast. I had met this person 2 or 3 times in person, but I was a Facebook friend with her. And she's a horsey person. We had our trailer with us, and I just sent her a message because I wasn't sure exactly where to go. So I sent her a message on Facebook saying, hey, would it be okay for us to kind of camp behind your house for a couple of days, because we had to evacuate? And this lady comes back and says, of course, we've just ordered some water. Let us know if you need more water, if you need to bring the horses somewhere on a longer term. Please go to our home in Sydney. We're actually away, but here's the address. You can just bring your horses there. Don't even have to ask. Do what you need to do, and just and take it from there. And I'm actually getting a little bit emotional even just talking about this now, because when we left here, I had already started witnessing people wanting to look after me, wanting to do good things for me, wanting to be supportive of where I was. And I had been feeling so down for so long, a couple of years now, that I didn't feel that I maybe deserved to be looked after, deserved to be taken care of. And getting this kind of an overwhelming message that, hey, you're cared for. If you need something, I have these resources. Please go and do that. Don't even have to ask. You're valued. That just really changed. It was a really big wake-up call for me personally, because I had felt down in the dumps for so long. So I had to think my way through it. I had to say to my subconscious, hey, there are people, look, there's evidence of people wanting to look after yourself, wanting you to look after yourself, and for you to be looked after. And when I went into my thoughts to affect my emotions about what my experience was, then I was able to say to myself, hey, I'm now open to seeing more and more evidence of people looking after me. And I made that conscious choice, and I said, that's what I'm going to do. And I went and I did that. And it's been incredible how many people have been supportive of everything, of me since. You can truly affect your emotions by choosing to think certain thoughts that you are able to think. So for example, if you see evidence of something that is contrary to what you believe, you can say, hey, hang on a second, there's evidence of that. So I'm going to go ahead and be open to that being a fact instead of what I feel being a fact. So that's a way that you can really affect your emotions to a more positive one. You can actually say to yourself, let me look for evidence of this positive thing about myself being true and the negative thing not being true. So that's how you can affect your feelings with your thoughts. How you can affect your thoughts with your feelings is when I'll just use the fire again as an example. So before evacuation, we had a lot of preparation to do around the house. We needed to make sure that, if the fire comes here while we're not here, or even if it comes here while we are here, that we're creating like a barrier between the fire where it could come and the house. And when you're doing something like this, when you're looking at options, you're checking the Fires Near Me app so many times a day, every hour, every half hour, just to see how the fire is creeping towards you. You're looking at the wind direction, you're looking at the likelihood of the fire reaching your home, or you're looking at, which exits, which escape routes effectively are available, because we had a rule like, if we only have one escape route left, then we'll take that escape route. If we lose power, then we'll leave the house. So there were a certain amount of criteria that needed to be fulfilled, thinking criteria, not feeling criteria, thinking criteria, that if those criteria were filled, then we would make a move and we would leave. And it was a very thought-oriented process. There was no feeling attached to it. There wasn't like, oh, I'm feeling so hysterical, so therefore I'm going to leave right now and drive like a maniac. So I'm going to create I'm going to create an accident on the road and create another fire that's now going to go into the bush and create more problems. Like you had to be really, there was no room for emotions in that space, because you have to make decisions that were reasonable, that didn't create in more drama and in more dangerous situations. And people calling us, sending us messages, you have to evacuate now. Like, that's not helpful when you are intending, like when you have a really clear plan, when you are really clear on what needs to happen and in what order. So we had to choose thoughts that would then elicit certain feelings for us. So the thoughts that we had to choose were the thoughts that would keep us safe, that would keep us feeling safe, not allow other people's projections on and their fears and their inner children's reactions to determine whether we should leave or stay. So, there are times when your feelings need to affect your thoughts as well. My feeling, I have to feel safe. So therefore I need to think how this is all going to play out. And I need to use my thoughts to create that space of feeling and comfort for myself. So I hope that gives you a little bit of food for thought for today. How are you going to use your thoughts to affect your feelings for the better today and this coming week? And how are you maybe using your feelings, the emotions that you need to have to think your way through? So if your emotion is, I want to have my own home, I want to have a better relationship with my partner, then how are you going to use your thoughts to actually create those feelings in a positive way? All right, so thank you for today's session. Oh, before I go, I want to give a shout out to Chris at this place called Stocked on Vincent Street, Cessnock. And this is a shirt, one of the shirts that I got from Chris. He sells amazing lifestyle street and active wear. If you are in New South Wales in Cessnock ever, I've got caught a couple of times off guard, eating a burger at Burger Fiend and spraying the sauce all over my shirt. And then where do I go? I go to Chris to get a new shirt, active wear, fantastic. It's such a uniform for me to be in exercise clothes all day, because I have a really active lifestyle. So if you happen to be in Cessnock, go and check out Chris's apparel at place called Stocked. So yeah, thanks everyone for today. Great to be back home. I hope you're really well. This coming week or today, think about how you're going to use your thoughts to elicit the feelings that are positive for you and embrace who you are as a person, and how you're going to use your feelings to create more organized thoughts about how to get there. So yeah, I'll talk to you real soon. Have a great day.